It's time to get started, I think. Let's start with the tutorial. That's a logical place to start, just in case people aren't familiar with this game. So this game is Bemuse, which is, you can go to bmuse.ninja and check it out for yourself. It's created by Flicknote, and I can't read, so I'm not going to be reading any of this stuff. But the thing that makes this game special is that every time that you hit a key, it actually plays a note. So it's not like Guitar Hero where if you mess up, then it's not gonna like go twang twang and then cut off the whole song. It's just you're gonna play the wrong note, or you're gonna play it at the wrong time. So I really enjoy it a lot, and you can see that I have a special controller for it here. You can play on the keyboard just fine, but I just find it more fun using this controller because first of all you get some nice key taps, and then you also get an actual turntable here, which is a lot of fun. I enjoy this controller a little bit more, even though it's actually a little more difficult because you have to actually move your hand around a little bit to hit different patterns since the turntable is so far away. And that introduces a little bit of strategy, because you want to put your hands in different places depending on what pattern is coming up. And another thing about this game is that you are not only judged on just hitting the note, either hitting it or not. Oh yeah, this tutorial is pretty funny because it's actually secretly the hardest song in the game. And I can't do this at all, but maybe someday I'll be able to. Man, that is crazy. This is even crazier than I remember. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and exit out of that one. Oh yeah, so when you enter, you can choose whether you want to play with keyboard or a controller, and you can actually use the controller mode with the keyboard as well. You just get an extra key for the scratch. So I'm just gonna start with this song. It's a lot of Japanese music and things like that because it's based on a rhythm game called Mania 2DX that came from Japan, but all of the songs are made by the community. So there's all different kinds of music that's available for download. And if you scroll down, I have a little, frequently asked questions. And I talk about where you can download songs, and if you want to get a controller like this, where you can get that, and other things as well. And if anyone wants to ask anything, you can just go ahead and type it in the chat, and I'll be keeping an eye on it. Or if you want to ask me stupid questions like what my favorite food is, or who's my waifu, it's Dizzy from Guilty Gear. So, sorry, ladies. And I've been playing this game for a few years or so, but I haven't been playing very seriously, so it's like I won't play for a few months and then I'll get pretty into it for a few weeks and then I'll go off and on. So in the grand scheme of things, I'm like not that great, but I at least kind of know what to play, how to play. And let me know if the audio is okay as well, because I can make myself louder, or I can make the music quieter. I was in the middle of talking about something. I have to accept that I may never know what I was talking about, but that's okay. But earlier I was saying that it judges you based on your timing. So the best timing that you can get in this game is Meticulous. So that's what you want. And then second best is precise. And then you have offbeat and missed. So the closer to perfect you hit the notes, the more points you're going to get, and it's a lot more important than your combo. So it's kind of like Osu in that way, which is another popular rhythm game that a lot of people know. But in this game, timing is even more important than your combo. So it doesn't really matter if you hit every note, the most important thing is like how well you're hitting the notes. Of course, you do want to hit the notes, but it's not absolutely critical that you hit every single one. If you miss one note, you don't have to like restart the song or anything like that. So I'm kind of at the point where I'll just play pretty much whatever song I want, regardless of whether I think the music is good or not, just because I like the gameplay a ton. But if anyone has any particular, like, play this song or whatever, I can try it as long as it's a 5 or below. Oh yeah, I hate this song. But the game is fun. Wow, that's really shrill. Okay, you know what I just said 5 seconds ago, where I don't care about the quality of the song? I changed my mind, we're not playing that one. Let's try this one. Oh, Homuffin's watching, how's it going? Or at least he has it open. So the difficulty in this game, it scales both really low and really high. So there are really easy songs for beginners, and there are also really, really, really difficult songs for people who've been playing for 10 years, because this game has been around for a long time. And for that reason, you can keep on playing basically forever, and people are making hundreds and hundreds of new songs every year, so you also never run out, which is nice. This is probably, if I had to pick one favorite game, it's this one. It's probably pretty close between this one and Soul Calibur. But I was never any good at Soul Calibur, it's just my nostalgia talking, so if Soul Calibur 6 comes out like it's rumored to, then maybe this game will have some more competition, but a lot of the games I like are like these short, like play for a little bit, have a good time, and then you can keep playing for as long as you want, or you can just play for 10 minutes and then stop if you want to. So like fighting games are like that, and I play stuff like Spelunky and other ones where they're like kind of challenging, but you play for a long time and you get better and better, and they get more and more fun as you go. And all the songs in this game are about 2 minutes long, so they're like the perfect length almost. I should probably show off this other feature. So you can download songs, and you can drag the BMS file into the game, and then you can just play it right here in the game, which is nice. So, like, this is how you can keep on playing forever and ever and ever and ever and ever, because people keep on making these new songs. Oh, sorry, how long's that mouse cursor been there? And then you just have more and more to play all the time. And there's also a lot of, like, fiddly strategy stuff that you can use to kind of, like, tweak your play as you go. So, for example, you can change how fast the notes scroll up and down on the screen. Well, they don't scroll up, they only go down. It's good for them to be kind of fast because you don't want the notes to be crammed too close together. You want to be able to look and see what the patterns are as they're coming down. And if the scroll speed is quick, then the notes will be more spread out and easier to see. And some people like to also have it be just fast enough that when the note appears on top of the screen, that by the time that they see it and go, okay, there's a note there, and just hit the button as soon as they can, they just time the scroll speed perfectly with their reaction time so that they don't even really have to think. They can just react to each note as it appears, and then they only have to think about like one note at a time. Just as soon as they see the note hit the key, and the timing will be perfect. Everyone has their own ways. Oh, I'm not good at that pattern. So, the song pack that this is from BMS of Fighters 2015, which is a song-making contest that happens every year. And all of the songs, people work really hard on them, and they kind of like get tons of entrants, like over 400 songs each year, so there's all sorts of songs to choose from. And all sorts of different genres as well. So after this, I think we'll probably play like a rock song or something. And as far as difficulty goes, it ranges from it starts at 1 and then it goes all the way up to like 20 something, like 22 or something like that. And then there are other songs that are called Overjoy songs that are even like more impossibly difficult for the people who have been playing for a long time and they really want to. But a lot of songs also go up just to 12 because 12 is kind of like the limit before it gets like really stupid. You can see that a lot of these are 12, but there's one 13 here at the bottom and there's a 20. So I'm not going to be attempting any of those today. I said we were doing a rock song, so let's do this one. Oh man, we got a lot of people in here. Hope everyone's having a good time. Definitely let me know if you have any questions or if you want to just heckle. Like, wow, you missed that note? I can't believe you. You suck. And also, let me know if the audio is balanced correctly. I said that before, and I checked before the stream. But some of these songs are a little louder than others, so just let me know. So there's kind of like two main aspects to getting better at this game. One is, well, I guess go back to the very beginning. When you first start, the main skill that you're training is remember, like, what the heck finger is what the heck note on the screen. So at first it's difficult to, like, you see the note and then you hit what finger you think is the right one, but you just don't remember which note corresponds to which finger just yet. So that is like the big struggle at the beginning, and that's why a lot of people like drop the game at first, because that's not very fun. Like, oh, you see a note, oh, I hit the wrong key, well, better luck next time. But once you get past that stage, it starts to get really fun and interesting. I haven't played crazy amounts of other rhythm games, like Rock Band and stuff. Like, I can play Rock Band and Guitar Hero songs on Expert and everything, but back when those came out, they were very popular and almost everyone played them. I never got into DDR or anything like that. Oh, my scratch isn't working right now. I'll fix that after. But when this game came out, or when I found out about it, it came out a long time ago. I just got super into it and I really enjoy playing it because there's so many more notes to keep track of that it's like you have the reading aspect of just seeing what notes are coming and what pattern they're in. And then there's like the technique aspect of, okay, once I know what notes are coming, what actual way do I move my hands in to hit them? And like I said at the beginning of the stream, it depends on the pattern, so different people... Oh, Christmas song. Xmas pop. We've got Christmas coming up, so this will be perfect. I mean, it's almost December, so that's soon enough for me. So this song is a 5-key song, so the original... Oh, what's my main rhythm game? It's definitely this one. Well, actually, it's Beatmania 2DX, because I have an arcade nearby me where I actually have access to a Beatmania 2DX cabinet. So that is the arcade game that this game is based on. So Bemuse is inspired by Beatmania 2DX, and it's very similar, although it diverged a little bit. I'm up to just 5s right now, so I'm kind of working my way up. A lot of people hit a wall at 7, but right now I'm progressing pretty steadily, so I should be moving into 6s pretty soon. And then I'm going to turn on random and everything. And the other rhythm game that I play a lot at the arcade is U-Beat, but there's really no way to play that at home. It's pretty much arcade only, but I actually, if you get a chance to play U-Beat, I really recommend that one. It's a lot of fun. And Booty Shakehead asked if playing the game on keyboard is just as enjoyable. Unfortunately, I would say that it kind of depends on the person, which is kind of a lame answer. For me personally, I do enjoy the arcade controller more. But that doesn't mean that playing on the keyboard is not fun. In fact, it's a lot of fun. And I'm thinking about maybe showing some keyboard gameplay as well. But since most people who are watching can probably do that themselves, I think that I will stick to the arcade controller just for this stream. But I played on keyboard for probably about a year before I ever bought an arcade controller, and I had a great time. Even though I did start to enjoy the game a lot more once I could have a controller that makes loud noises when I tap it. That's actually a big part of why I like it so much, is that I can just do little noisemaker stuff. So you can see the song has only 5 keys. And I don't really have anything else to say about that, but a lot of people really like 5-key mode. I haven't messed around with it too much, but in this mode you can actually one-hand a lot more easily, so you can have one hand dedicated to just the scratch if you want, which a lot of people like. Another thing about... Oh, how much does the arcade controller cost? It's a little pricey. The cheapest way to get one is you can get something called a JKOC, which you can Google. And it's a slightly less fancy version of this controller that doesn't light up, but it runs about like $70 or so. Like, that's my best guess. It varies a little bit because I don't think they're making them anymore. But if you want like the nice one like this that lights up and has nicer switches and a slightly bigger turntable, then it's more like $170, like on the low end. But it will last like pretty much forever, and when you're done with it, you can resell it for pretty close to the same amount because they don't really break or anything over time. They're kind of built to last. And originally I played on keyboard and didn't want to buy an arcade controller. But as soon as I went to the arcade and tried the arcade for the first time, I was like, oh, I need to get a controller for home so that I don't go to the arcade every day, because otherwise I'll spend too much money. So I actually bought the controller to save money for that reason, because I love this game so much that I wanted the same experience at home, and it's a little cheaper if I buy the controller. And it is worth it for me, but a lot of people do prefer playing on keyboard, and the hardest songs in the game are kind of designed for keyboard, because the arcade controller on its own kind of adds a little bit of difficulty. So the hardest songs for keyboard, like, put that difficulty back into the song. Does that make sense? Like, an easier song, will be harder on arcade controller. So the really, really, really hard songs are all designed for keyboard. Although there are a few players who play them on arcade controller and they're just like crazy. they're crazy to watch. If you guys want to watch some really good players, the best 2DX player in the world is Dulce, and he has a YouTube channel that I really enjoy a lot. He also streams pretty often. I think he actually works for Konami, which is the company that makes Beatmania 2DX, their arcade division. And then for popular BMS players, I'm afraid I actually don't know a lot of them. I'm trying to get more involved with the BMS community. A lot of them live on Twitter, so I just need to start following people and then finding more people in the BMS community to follow. Sometimes if I miss a key, it's because I'm just not very good, and then sometimes when I miss it, it's because I'm looking at chat. So, you all can just pretend that it's all because I care about you and not because I'm still learning. But if you know the truth that I'm still learning, then that's okay too, because, you know, this game is a learning process, and it's fun to play, I would say, pretty much at any level, except for, like, at the very, very beginning when you're just trying to remember which finger goes with which key. That can be a little frustrating. But once you get past that point, it starts to be a lot of fun. Just even the really easy songs, you feel really good to be able to play them, because the truth is that even the easy songs are like a nice beefy challenge, so you can feel amazing when you can actually hit the patterns and things like that. And also the fact that you're kind of playing the real song because of the key sounding also helps a lot. Even if you don't like the song a ton, it just feels really nice. And you can definitely tell the difference between when you're playing a song really crappy and when you're actually playing the song well, because, you know, it'll sound better. But playing kind of crappy sounding music is fun in its own way, to be honest with you. My arcade stick skills, oh shoot, I thought the song was over. Do my arcade stick skills transfer? Is what Booty Shakehead is asking. And I would say that they would transfer if I had any. I play on Hitbox. Oh, I got an F on that song. Maybe I'll come back and attempt that song again later in the stream. I think I will, actually. I usually change songs a lot. I don't like to play the same song over and over all the time. I'll usually go play some other songs if I'm having trouble and then come back to that one song. Fallon said, "Yo," a million years ago, and I ignored. So hey, how's it going? Also, I put the lane in the middle for this stream, but usually I like putting it on the left so that I can look over and watch the video if I want to. I rarely do, but sometimes they can be funny. Like this guy is like looking through a notebook or something, I'm not even sure. There's a city in the notebook. I'm not 100% sure, but man, that's crazy. Okay, yeah, I messed up my scratch, so I need to, after this song, fix it. I started playing this game because I watch Day 9, the StarCraft and Hearthstone and variety streamer, and he was always talking about Mania 2DX and how much he loves it, the arcade version. So I'd heard about it before, and then I was checking out some other rhythm games, Osu, and Osu has a mode called Osu Mania, which is a lot like Bemuse. And so I was having a good time with it, and then I just checked out other games like it, and I found Bemuse. I was like, wow, this is great. I can play it in my browser. It's really convenient, and I liked the songs that came with it a lot. And at the time, I was like, great, I can just like play right now. I don't have to like download a bunch of stuff or anything like that. Eventually, I went and I downloaded Lunatic Rave 2 and other programs like that, but yeah, I've just pretty much been hooked ever since. Although it took a little bit, like I said before, it took a little bit of time at the beginning, just to get used to it. Sometimes these songs are taking a little bit longer to load, and I'm not sure why. So here it shows who made the song and who made the background animation. And it has the genre up here, and I'm not sure, unfortunately, what Tomo Alien did, but good job, Tomo Alien. And okay, I need to remember to fix the scratch this time. Use the charter. Okay. I thought Dolphin was the charter. Oh, what's my Twitter? It's Boats and I'll just type it in the chat. It's Boats and Joe's instead of okay, Dolphin. I didn't know Dolphin made songs. I thought he only charted. That's cool. Yeah, like I said before, I'm actually trying to connect with the BMS community. So, right after this stream, I'm going to start following people on Twitter. Okay, right now I'm trying to remember how to fix my scratch. Was that it? No, that was. Okay, I fixed it. Yeah, so I'm trying to connect with the BMS community. I'm in the Discord right now, but I'm trying to find more people on Twitter, and I'm going to start following the BMS Fighters contests and things like that. And I might try charting a little bit myself, but I'm not really very good, like, musically inclined, so that might be a little difficult for me. It's more just so that I can understand what goes into making a chart. Another thing that a lot of people do in 2DX is they turn random on. I don't think that Bemuse has a random feature, but what that does is that it shuffles all of the note columns. So it's the same columns, but they're just shuffled into a different order. So it takes the same song and it mixes the patterns up a little bit so that every time that you play it, it's a little bit different. And all of the top scorers actually play with random on, because it actually, in a way, makes your timing better, because if you memorize the chart, then you know where all the notes are, and you might end up hitting them a little bit early because you know what's coming. But when you don't know what's coming, you just kind of watch the chart as you go, and as you see the pattern, you can hit it just in time, and your timing is much better if you do it that way. And playing random is also good even if you don't want to go for a top score, because it introduces you to more complex patterns earlier. I thought I fixed this. Thanks, Miyuna. I really appreciate it. I will ask you about Lunatic Rave 2, most likely, because I have Lunatic Rave 2 set up, and I can use it. I'm only not streaming it today because it just because it crashes sometimes, and when I'm on my own and not streaming, I don't mind because I can just open it again, no problem. But when I'm streaming, I would rather just have the game going the whole time. So yeah, but what I would probably be asking you about is my GLA assist is not working, and I'm not 100% sure how the ranking works either. But there are good guides to describe both of those things, so if there's something that's not answered in the guide, I'll ask about it. Sorry, I'm just changing my scratch again. There's like... Is this it? No, it must be this one. So what I'm doing right now is, this is a PlayStation 3 controller, technically. And the way that the scratch is essentially pretending to be an analog stick on the PlayStation 3 controller. And there's two different modes for the scratch. You can either set it to whenever you turn it, like you can basically tell it whether to return back to neutral or not after you turn it. So my computer sees the analog stick right now as neutral, and then whenever I turn it, it just slams to the right or left, and then it goes back to neutral. But before, I accidentally had it in the mode where it does not return to neutral. So that is good for Mania 2DX Infinitas. It interprets it correctly, but for this game, I have to have it set in the other mode. So when I was saying my scratch was broken, that was what I was trying to fix. Sorry, I looked away for a second. Hey Technomancer, how's it going? We haven't played Guilty Gear in a while. We should play again, because I always have a good time. I think we're going to do a lobby later this week, so I'll message you when we do that, and then I'll invite you. Are you still trying to play Baiken, or are you back on Kai? Yeah, Miyuna knows the reasons of Lunatic Rave 2 crashing for most people all the time. I've already applied the memory patch Technomancer's still using Viken. That's good. Viken is awesome. Yeah, so Lunatic Rave 2, there are some ways that you can prevent it from crashing. One way is that you can apply a patch to the program that lets it use more memory. Another way is if you turn off background animations and song previews, then that helps a lot as well, because what the game does is it loads them and then it never like unloads them, so there's a big memory leak. And that's one thing that causes Lunatic Rave 2 crashes. And then the other reason that it crashes for me is because I'm not using Japanese locale. So Windows computers, you can set a system locale, which tells it like what default fonts to use and things like that. And for Lunatic Rave 2, if you don't use Japanese locale, it crashes slightly more often. And also, I think there are some song titles that it can't display them correctly. So I haven't changed that yet either, but once I did all those things on my old computer, it crashed essentially never, so... I didn't have time to test it before the stream, so before the next stream... Excuse me. Before the next stream, I'll test it more. And if there's no crashing, then I'll show Lunatic Rave 2 off as well, because that's a program that a lot of people use. There's a little bit less input delay on Lunatic Rave 2 because Bemuse is in a web browser, there's a little bit of input delay. It's relatively minor, it's like 20 milliseconds or something like that. But it does make a difference. And another thing that's good about Lunatic Rave 2 is that it has more features, like you can customize it more. There's a lot of different skins. You can turn things on and off. You can turn on a thing that shows you like exactly how early or late you were on each note. You can turn on something called a lane cover, which hides some of the notes so that you don't have to look at this entire mess of notes all at the same time. You can just get only a few on screen at once, and then you can parse them a little bit more easily. And another important feature that Lunatic Rave 2 has is that it has actual pass and fail conditions for each song. So in this game, you just play the song and you get a grade. And I'm trying to get at least a C on everything if I can. But in Lunatic Rave 2, it has an actual binary you pass or you fail, which can be good. It's kind of more fun in a way, and it's also good for learning because you know when you kind of did good enough on a song, and you know when you need a little bit more practice. Oh, another thing. So the white lines across the screen, those are measure lines. Man, I didn't do that pattern very well at all, did I? So each white line, all the stuff in between the white line is one measure. And some songs have BPM changes, and they speed up or slow down as the song goes. I have the game set right now to keep the notes scrolling the same speed, regardless of the BPM of the song. So that's why some of the white lines are a little bit goofy. Because if I did not have that setting on, the notes would be speeding up and slowing down. But I find it a lot easier when it's all locked to the same speed. In Mania 2DX, the arcade game, you actually can't lock your BPM like that, so it's kind of annoying on some songs. That's like, oh, I got a D on that one. Okay, I'll retry that one later as well. Oh, another 5-key song. Nice. Yeah, I haven't actually played much 5-key before today. I think this song is going to speed up in a second. Different songs have kind of like a different personality to them. So some songs have a lot of these long notes. Some have a lot of chords. Some have a lot of what are sometimes called streams, which are just like this, where it's like a bunch of notes really fast in a row at regular intervals. And there are some patterns that I'm much weaker at than others. But I try to play a lot of different songs because I'm getting better at all of them as I go. There are some songs that also have a lot of scratching. So like the notes will be really easy, but you'll just be on the scratch going crazy the whole time. And those songs can be a lot of fun, but they're also pretty challenging. And some people kind of specialize in different things, like they're really, really good at hitting lots of really fast streams. But they're really bad at jacks, which is when you have to hit the same key a bunch of times in a row, like a jackhammer, like like that. But as you play the game more and more, you see more and more different things, and you get better and better at each different kind of pattern. And then part of the fun of the game is that you're always getting something new. So even within the same song, the beginning of the song is different from the end of the song, and the next song that you play is going to have totally different things from the song before. So that's part of why I can keep playing this game for a long time, for like hours at a time, because it's like the music is fun to listen to, and it's always something new being thrown my way, which I really like. Man, I got a D on that one too. So there's a little leaderboard here, and there's Twitter integration, which I've not really messed with. But I'm usually getting like 16th or 22nd or like pretty much everything on all these songs. I'm not sure why these are starting to take kind of a long time to load. But it's not too bad. But yeah, some other rhythm games that I really enjoy are U-Beat, which is like the screen is the controller. So it's a panel of 16 square, clear panels, and they light up, and when you light up, you have to touch them. And you can have different indicators, like the one that I like to use is a camera shutter that closes, and at the moment that the camera shutter on the panel closes, that's when I hit the note. And in general, I enjoy the rhythm games that have a lot of notes and keys. So this has 6 keys, U-Beat has 16. Oh, I don't know if you can hear, but I'm hitting a lot of these notes late, so the song actually sounds kind of bad because the notes are being played at the wrong time. But if I were good, then the song would sound amazing. And when you get better and you make a song sound really good, it feels really good in this game. Because you yourself are actually playing it. And the higher difficulty you go, the more of the song you're responsible for playing. So in the lower difficulties, like, you might just be playing like the drum part or something, while the piano goes crazy. And then on the higher difficulties, you're playing like the drum and the piano and the guitar or whatever all at the same time. And the nice thing about the game is that it's always like, the difficulty curve is really good. Once you get over the initial confusion, because at any time there are hundreds of songs that are exactly the right difficulty for you. Unlike this one, which I got an F on, but I'm gonna go ahead and claim that if I was paying more attention to the song that I would have done better, but probably I would just have to go at it a few times just to get used to it. And then once I do that, if I see similar patterns in another song, then I'll probably do better at them. Play Keyboard Mania, a 24-key rhythm game? That sounds like fun. I gotta check that out. I've seen videos of it. It's weird because I like more keys, but I haven't really gotten too into pop-in music yet, which is another game that's at the arcade. That's a 9-key game. Oh, I forgot this is 5-key. So we're into 5s right now, and the truth is that I'm actually not very good at 5s yet. I'm still getting used to them. I can pass some 5s, like the easier ones. So this is kind of where I'm at right now, and I'm enjoying it. And then once I have gotten more comfortable with 5s, then I'm going to move into 6s. And after I am comfortable with 6s or close to getting comfortable, a lot of people hit a wall where they can pass 6s, but they can't just do anything to 7s at all. Like, they're so comfortable with 6s that it's not even like a big challenge anymore, but they still can't pass 7s. So at that point, I'm going to turn random on, which is the setting I was talking about earlier that shuffles the note columns, because random shows you a lot more patterns, and for that reason you get better faster because you can see more different patterns. And also the higher difficulty songs have the most insane patterns anyway, like 10s and upwards. Especially 11s and 12s. That you kind of need to turn on random at some point just to like start seeing those insane patterns before they start showing up in the non-random charts, so that you're ready for them. Because if you turn on random, you'll start seeing those patterns a little earlier, and you can kind of get into it a little more smoothly. And also right now I have not focused on timing too much. It's mostly just been on hitting the pattern at all, but at a certain point it's like you want to work on your timing to get mostly meticulous and not too many goods, because that is really, really, really important in this game. You can see that I was only 60% accurate in that song, and if you click here you can see how many early and how many late, so you can see I was hitting a lot of them late. And you can see how many of each judgment I got. So really good players, they'll get like all meticulous, and they'll get like 5 precise, and then like none of these. No goods, no offbeat, no missed. Those are the people who are putting up really, really good scores for songs. And this song here has 260 BPM, so the notes are going to be coming really fast. Maybe. So this is going to be pretty challenging for me. Yeah. So this song, to be honest with you guys, is like a little too hard for me. But I'm going to try to play it anyway because this is kind of how you get better at the game. It's like picking songs that are just a little too hard for you and doing the best you can. And as you keep going, you'll get a little bit better every time you do that, essentially. Because if you only play songs that you can play easily, then you'll never improve to be able to play the harder songs. Man, this is maybe a little... Yeah, I'm gonna have to try this on a few more times later. At the same time, you don't want to play a song that's too hard for you because you kind of just end up wasting your time and not learning anything. But there's so many songs available that there's like a perfect amount. Wow, this song sounds like crap. Yeah, this song I'm starting to think is like to the point where I'm not really ready for it right now. But I'm gonna remember this one and I'm gonna come back to it. And it feels really good when you're not really good enough for a song at all, and then you come back and you just crush it, because you've gotten so much better. So that's something that happens pretty often. And the thing is, I can see this pattern, it's like not that crazy, it's just like it's mostly scales, and there's some jacks mixed in there that are messing me up, the double notes that I was talking about earlier, the double taps. So the pattern is easy to understand, but it's very difficult to actually like move my fingers in the way fast enough to actually hit them at this moment right now. So I'll come back to it later on. And crush it. I'm gonna come back to you upside down. I will remember your name. Let's do one more 5 and then play a few more custom songs. As much as I play this game, I do play it kind of casually, I guess. Like I'm really just in it to have a good time. I am trying to push forward and play harder songs, but only because I want to play more songs. And I have more fun playing the harder patterns as well, because the better that you get, the more complicated patterns that you can play, and it's more fun to play more complicated patterns. Not just because they are more challenging at the beginning and then easier later, but they introduce a lot more of that strategy I was talking about earlier of where to position your hands, and you have to remember to still keep your timing precise even when you're trying to hit these really dense patterns. Oh, you can actually see my face in the reflection of the controller a little bit. Hey, how's it going? If you buy one of these controllers, you can actually customize the colors. So I got blue for this LED, and I got red on these buttons. But you can actually pick pretty much whatever you want, from like yellow to hot pink, or whatever tickles your fancy. Wow, the song's a lot easier than what I was just playing a second ago. So even though I can play some 5s like this one. There are some 5s that are still too challenging for me, like the last one. And these songs are all made by the community, so some songs are like a little bit easier or harder than their rating suggests. So if you start the game and you're struggling to clear ones, like that's totally okay. Like just try some different songs. And remember that at the beginning it really is just about remembering which finger goes with which key. And once you work that into your memory, it gets a lot easier. And if I were to give some tips, if you guys want to try this game out, I would recommend, I'm assuming that you'll be playing with a keyboard, but these tips apply to arcade controller as well. At the beginning, when you're first learning, I would recommend gluing your keys, your fingers to the keys, and not letting them lift up at all, because that helps some people not get their fingers lost and just remember which finger goes with which key. Of course, if that's not comfortable for you, you don't have to. It's just something that I've noticed seems to help people when they're learning. And also, try a lot of different setups. Like, if you're on an arcade controller, you can arrange your fingers differently. And if you're playing on a keyboard, you can arrange the keys differently. So a lot of people like to do home row plus spacebar, but some people like to do other things. Like they like to arrange the keys diagonally, like staggered, like on this controller, or they like to do other setups. So I would recommend trying out a few different things and seeing what feels comfortable. And then as you play, glue your fingers to the keys, and then you watch the screen. And before the song starts, just try hitting a few keys, and that helps you link in your mind which key is which finger. So if I hit my thumb right now, part of my brain goes, okay, this key is my thumb. And then as you continue to play more and more, you'll find that it can be easier to time if you let your fingers off the keys and then bounce down. That can help to get it at a more precise timing later on. So your playstyle changes as you get better. And if you ever want to play it on an arcade controller, there's also other things you want to consider as well, like how you actually arrange your fingers. I do it like this. Some people like to do it like this, where they see, I haven't practiced that, so I can't even do it. But they don't put their hand sideways like this. They like to put their left hand more like their right hand. And some people don't like their scratch on the left. Some people prefer their scratch to be on the right side. And some people don't even like scratching with their pinky, like what I'm doing is pinky scratching. Some people like scratching with their wrist, like this. And it can make it a lot easier in some ways because you don't have to take your hands off the keys. But I don't like it, just because, to be honest, 99% of it is that I'm worried about messing up my wrist. I don't want to mess up my hands because I'm a software engineer. So I'm typing at a keyboard like all the time, and then I come home and then I play games like this and fighting games for fun. So I really, really need to take care of my hands, because if I start getting chronic hand pain, I'm donezo. It sounds like I did a lot of research before playing this game. Yeah, I did. I kind of end up reading a lot about things before I try them out a lot of the time. Like when I was learning Go, which is the board game that's in my profile picture. I did so much reading and watching videos of Go that it took me years and years to get any good at it, because I barely played. I just like listened to lectures and watched games and read about games instead of actually playing the damn game and getting better. So, but I still had a good time reading about it because I just enjoy learning about games and things like that. You know, I'm not in school anymore, so I gotta get my reading in somewhere. This song is a 4, I think, so it's a little bit easier than what I've been playing a second ago. So I'm actually going to try to focus more on the timing right now. I could be wrong, but I feel like the timing on Bemuse is maybe not 100% consistent. Which is why I'm interested in... which is why I usually play on Lunatic Rave 2, because the timing not in the browser just feels a little bit better. Not a lot of people have played this custom song, but all of these custom songs have rankings as well. So if someone else plays the same song, then they'll be ranked, so you can challenge your friends or do whatever else you want. Wow, this song has a lot of difficulties. 89? Wow. I kind of want to click on it, but we already checked out the tutorial at the beginning of the stream, and that's the hardest song in the game. So I think we've seen enough hard songs today. Another high BPM one here, so this will be pretty tough, although it is a 4. I did play on keyboard for a long time before. Wow, I like this song actually. So I played on keyboard for a long time, and I did find that really enjoyable as well. But it did make a difference once I went to the arcade and played on an arcade controller for the first time. I just really enjoy hitting clicky buttons. And when I play fighting games, I really enjoy that too. That's why I play on Hitbox, which is a special kind of arcade controller that, instead of a joystick, it has buttons for movement. So I get to mash twice as many buttons, and it's twice as fun, because I get to mash my attacks and also my movement buttons. I'm not very good at timing when it's just the same note a bunch of times in a row. Even if it's pretty slow, I tend to get messed up because all the notes kind of blend together. Sorry if that was loud. I don't know if I turned the volume down enough. Oh, see, okay, so there I had a bad strategy for hitting those 3 notes and the scratch at the same time. So that's kind of a new set of notes that I've never seen before. So I have to think of how I want to hit that pattern if it comes up again. Well, it's a chord, not a pattern, but... I haven't seen that pattern before either. That was a fun chart. I really like that one. I'm going to play that one again later on, especially because I got a D. Okay, so if I want to hit that, I think what I want to do is I want to hit the first 2 keys like this and the scratch, and then bring my thumb over to hit the other, the 3 key. What I tried to do was hit both the 1 and the 3 with my thumb like this, while also hitting the 2 key at the same time, and it was kind of a hot mess. So I think that this will be better next time. So yeah, I enjoy kind of the sort of the minor strategy part of the game as well. It's like just the right amount. It's not like Civilization level or Crusader Kings 2 level where I have to think like a million years in advance. It's just like techniques for handling individual problems when they come up. All of the charters for BMS are super talented. Like, all these songs have been great. Oh, I'm not very good at that. Yeah, so compared to 2DX in the arcade, these community BMS maps have a lot more long notes. So I'm really bad at the long notes because Mania has hardly any. There's only a few songs that even have long notes in them at all, and usually it's like, if a song has long notes, you're only gonna get like 3 long notes in the whole song, or something like that. Well, not 3, but a very low amount. But a lot of these community charts have like more long notes going on at the same time, or... Oh man, that part was hard. They might have a long note and then like also another complicated pattern going at once. So I haven't got a lot of practice with that yet. Man, that was pretty challenging. So, just in case you guys don't know, what I have is I have my Windows Explorer here with these songs that I downloaded. I just googled BMS of Fighters 2015 because that's the year I was interested in, just because it had a song that I knew I liked in it. That was me cracking my knuckles. And so I just click and drag the folder from that song folder into the browser window, and it just loads the song. It's really easy and convenient. It only works in Chrome, though. And if you guys want to try out the game and you find that it's really challenging, like, don't worry. Like, it's challenging for everyone. You're not stupid, even though you'll probably feel a little stupid because it feels simple, and it's like, oh, it's this really simple thing. Why can't I do it, or whatever? But it just takes a little bit of time to get used to. Once your hands are just used to the game, it gets to be a lot of fun. It's my favorite rhythm game for sure. And as I said before, it's probably my favorite game, period. Although there's some fighting games that are in pretty close contention. So right there, I tried to, that's another occasion where I did a bad strategy for hitting a certain setup of notes. So next time I see that pattern, I'm gonna adjust it and hit some of the notes with different fingers. So when I'm playing this game, I'm always thinking a little bit, even though a lot of it actually is muscle memory, and I can talk and play at the same time, although I do play a little bit better when I'm not talking. But I feel like this rhythm game is like the right mix of like it's like enough different things to focus on that it stays interesting the whole time, because you've got your timing, you've got your technique, you've got your reading of actually seeing the notes coming down the screen and keeping track of them, and then you've got the technique of actually hitting them correctly, and not just correctly, but in the specific playstyle that feels comfortable to you. And there's also minor elements of stamina and things as well. Like, there are some songs that can really tire out your hands if you're not being kind of careful to use less energy. So there's like a lot going on with this game, and that's why I enjoy it more than a lot of other rhythm games. And I really like the key sounding as well. That's a really awesome feature. And one day I'm going to be chasing scores as well. This game has a really good scoring system based on the accuracy, but right now I'm just focused on passing the songs. Grooving. I'm gonna have to look up the manual for my controller after this stream and check about the scratching, because I think I do have it in the wrong mode. There are 3 different scratch modes for this controller, and I think there's one that's definitely wrong. And this one seems to be working okay, except that when I scratch one way and then scratch the other way right away, it doesn't register the second one. So I'll just have to fix that after the stream. For now, it's fine. Man, that was fun. Got a C. That's my target. I'm trying to get C's on all of these songs right now. And then I kind of, once I get a C, move on to a harder song. But then at a certain point, it'll actually be difficult to move on to harder songs all the time. Like, the rate at which I'm passing the songs will be slower than the rate that I'm getting... Well, it'll be faster than the rate that I'm getting better. So eventually I'll run out of songs that are easy enough for me, and I won't be ready for the next songs yet. So at that point, I'll go back and I'll try to actually get really good scores and timing on the songs that I can play, while I'm kind of getting ready to move up to the next difficulty. There's a lot of other different ways to play this game as well. You can play in doubles mode, which is where you get 2 controllers and you play one with each hand, and it's hilarious and difficult. I kind of want to try it at the arcade sometime, but I want to get a little bit better at just regular single play first before I try, because it is quite difficult, because it's a lot of keys for one hand, and then you're also obviously using both of your hands at the same time. So it's like, it's difficult for either hand, and you gotta do both, so it's crazy. And there's a lot of other good free rhythm games as well. Like, there's Step Mania is another one, which is focused on 4-key. There's a really good showcase at AGDQ I don't remember what year, maybe it was 2016? Or maybe it was SGDQ 2016. But if you search Mania Games Done Quick, then you can watch the showcase of Saiton playing it. And it's a lot of fun to watch, and they explain everything about the game, how to get started, a lot of the terminology and options. And in that game, since there are only 4 keys, a lot of it is more focused on like really dense. Is this like Guitar Hero for people with a lack of skill? Nade shoot? I don't want to ruffle any feathers, but this game is more difficult. The hardest songs are more difficult than the hardest Guitar Hero songs. And another thing that differentiates it a lot from Guitar Hero is the timing window, so that you can see when I hit a note, sometimes it says meticulous and sometimes it says precise. And I don't know if you were just joking, but I'm gonna explain it anyway. It's not just whether you hit the note or not, it's did you hit the note, and if so, how perfectly did you hit it? And you want to hit all the notes with as perfect timing as possible in order to get the highest score. And of course there are more keys than Guitar Hero and the Scratch. But Guitar Hero is still a great game. There's definitely like nothing wrong with it. I played Guitar Hero for a long time. And I can play songs on Expert and everything, although I never did get to the point where I could play the absolute hardest songs on Expert. And I played Rock Band as well, and I never got any good at the drums, but I have a friend who is really, really into Rock Band, and he plays Rock Band 4 all the time. And he plays all instruments, but he's especially good at expert drums. Muffin, where did you get that Mercy emote from? Because it's adorable. I don't even like Overwatch that much, but the emote is cute. Actually, I'm assuming it's Mercy, but really it could be any nice German doctor holding a heart, but I know that you're an Overwatch fan, so probably Mercy. When you played Overwatch, do you play a lot of Mercy, or do you just like her? Because I played Lucio when I could, and I would play a tank when no one wanted to play tank, which was pretty much all the time. But anyway, the reason I was bringing up my friend, my Rock Band friend, who's really good at Rock Band. He tried out this game, and he played it for like after like halfway through the first song, he was like, "This is crazy. This is too hard." And I wish we had more time to play it, because I think he would actually really enjoy it if he played more. But that's kind of what happened. What's that scratchy on the left? So this is in the game just a 8th lane. So if you play on keyboard, you can hit the scratch with just a normal key, like with your pinky or whatever. And you actually have 2 keys set to scratch, so that if you have a song with a lot of fast scratches, you can actually hit both keys alternating to get the scratches. But on this controller, it's a little turntable that triggers a note every time that you scratch it. And I kind of like it this way. It's like the arcade style. You can't quite cover all of the keys and hit the scratch at the same time. So it introduces a little bit of strategy where when the scratch pattern is coming, you have to use different hand positions in order to hit the notes that are coming up, depending on what notes are coming up. And it makes the game pretty interesting. It's kind of like when you add the orange 5th fret in Guitar Hero. And you need to start moving your hand up and down the neck of the guitar in order to hit the notes correctly, or sometimes you might stretch instead, depending on what's happening. So it's like kind of like a slightly more extreme version of that, where you're repositioning your hands to hit the scratch at the right time. Oh, okay, the emote is from the Mercy emote is from Adam, a former Cloud9 player. That's cool. I should check out his stream, because I'm looking for more people to follow on Twitch. I watch a lot of fighting game people like James Chen. And I watch Joseph Anderson, who's like a video game critic on YouTube. And I also watch Darbian, who's a Mario speedrunner and other game speedrunner. I really enjoy his stream as well. Oh, he hasn't streamed in a long time? That's okay, I'll follow the stream anyway. If he ever does, then I'll check it out. Oh, Clockwork has been streaming a lot. That's cool. I need to watch him. And yeah, I know you're a Flow fan, Homuffin. We all are. He's a funny guy. And he streams a lot too, so it's like really good if you want someone reliable. I know I can like almost hit that pattern. I think I might actually play this song again, because I'm not really happy with how I handled that one. Do I not watch any Hearthstone? I have a friend who loves watching Hearthstone more than he loves life, really. Like, he watches tons of Firebat, and he used to watch a lot of Brian Kipler, although he doesn't much anymore. I myself just watch Day 9 sometimes. Like, that's the extent of my Hearthstone watching, but I really do enjoy that stream. You watch... Homuffin watches StarCraft and fighting games and some astronomy stuff. That's cool. What astronomy stuff do you watch? Is it just when you is it just when there's something important happening astrologically, or are there like some sort of weekly show that just talks about various topics, for example? Or is it only when it's like, oh, this comet is passing? And Homuffin, Day 9 does do StarCraft content again. He's doing a Let's Learn StarCraft for StarCraft Remastered. He does it every Tuesday and Thursday. I was just watching last week's on YouTube. So he should be doing that today, since it's Tuesday. But he kind of like is going through all sorts of different aspects of the game. So one week he might do like openings in TVP, and then like another week he might do like, check out this one specific game from Flash where he did this cool marine harassment or something. It's like the old Day 9 Daily all over again. I think he's really enjoying the show, making the show too, I can tell. I can see that there are other people talking, and I will get to it in a second. This was the part coming up that I wasn't hitting correctly, that I want to try to hit correctly. I did a little bit better that time. Yeah, this beats my old score. We've still got a D though. Day 9 funny guy, not best player though, according to Nate Shoot. Yeah, that's correct. But I've been watching Day 9 for a long time, so it's kind of inertia. What's better, precise or meticulous? Meticulous is better. So I'm trying to get all well, I'm not trying very hard to get all Meticulouses. I'm very happy with Precise or Meticulous. And then anything below that is like, it's desirable to get either Precise or Meticulous. You can see the judgments down here: Meticulous, Precise, Good, Offbeat, and Missed. And it's kind of a rhythm game-ism that goods are actually bad. You don't want goods. You want like maybe like 4 goods throughout the whole song if you're a very good player. Actually, sorry, I'm gonna exit out of this for a second to just address the things in chat that I missed. Nate likes watching Crip and Reynard. Yeah, their streams are great. I've watched a lot of different Hearthstone streamers. It's just that I don't have time to watch like a ton of streams regularly. But I'll always put the stream on because I like to just like pop in for a little bit and then interact with them. I don't really like songs with vocals very much, but I'll tolerate them. Why is it in Japan, according to Nate Shoot? By it, you mean the title of the song? This song was made by a Japanese charter, and the contest also is run by the Japanese BMS community. So a lot of the submissions are from people in Japan, but there are people in outside of Japan as well who also participate. And there's a Discord for BMS that you can find if you Google. And there's different channels for talking about playing the game and making songs for the game. And what else? I think like making like different. The third channel is for making the actual like BMS player. So like the person who makes Bemuse, there's a channel for that person as well to talk about like, oh, I'm trying to, you know, make it so that my players can do this or something. So yeah, this game is based on Beatmania 2DX, which is a rhythm game that came out in Japan in I think 1997, and they've just been making it and making it and making it since then. It started with Beatmania 2DX in 1997, and now we're up to Beatmania 2DX 25 is coming out next month, so that's very exciting. If it's a long note in red, do you have to do a long scratch? Yes. It's called a backspin scratch because you need to keep spinning the scratch, and then at the end of it you have to scratch back the other way. And I have been doing it like this by spinning the whole table around, but I've noticed that most of the top ranker videos that I've watched, they actually do it like this, like they keep on bringing their hand back to push the scratch like that, and then at the end they scratch back the other way. During that song I noticed that what is wrong with my scratch is actually that the up scratch is working, but when I try to scratch it this way, nothing happens. So I'm going to have to fix that after the stream. Did I ever play the dance games at arcade? I did a little bit. To be honest with you, I never really liked DDR, but now that I've gotten into this game, I want to actually try DDR again because I think that I would potentially enjoy it at this point in time. At the time that I tried DDR, this song's a little bit too hard for me, but I'm gonna keep going anyway like I did last time and try to learn something. Yeah, I want to try DDR again because I might enjoy it. The first time I tried, it was a long time ago. So, I don't know, maybe my tastes have changed. And now that I've gotten good at this rhythm game, I might find DDR a little bit easier as well. I've also played, like, Pump It Up and In the Groove and stuff like that as well. It's just this, but with feet, no? I talked about Step Mania a little bit earlier, but Step Mania is a computer game that has 4 keys, and you can play it with either a dance pad or your fingers. You can either play with a keyboard or a dance pad, and you can see that there are different songs that are designed for dance pad or fingers because, as a really basic example, in DDR there are no points where you have to hit 3 notes at the same time because you only have 2 feet. So DDR is more about like I'm not a DDR expert, so I don't want to speak out of turn, but it's more like challenging the timing and less so about making a really difficult pattern, because the most difficult thing you can really have is a lot of jumps in a row, and jumps are the DDR term for hitting 2 arrows at the same time, because you're like dancing and then you have to jump to hit 2 at the same time. But in this game, Bmania 2DX, timing is also, or sorry, Bmania 2DX and Bemuse, timing is also really important. But at the same time, it's also about, like, since you have so many keys to choose from, and this song is actually only 5 keys, but a lot of songs have 7. It's partially about just reading the pattern and seeing, like, okay, what the heck is going on my screen right now? That's called reading, and DDR doesn't challenge you to do that as much. So, in short, to answer your question, if DDR is just the same thing but with your feet, the basic idea is the same, but both games emphasize different skills, and they could both be fun in different ways. And even in this same game, this 5-key song feels pretty different from the 7-key songs that I've played. Like, obviously I have less keys to keep track of, but to compensate, they've really packed the notes in and made them very dense in comparison to 7-key songs on the same difficulty. My computer hitched there for a second. Oh, I'm not very good at that pattern. Oh yeah, this part sounds like crap because I'm messing it up. Yeah, so my weakness, even going all the way back to Guitar Hero, has always been chords. I have trouble seeing the chords and figuring out like which 2 keys it is. So that's something I want to practice. How come I'm ranked number 1? Is there no online leaderboard? There is an online leaderboard, but I'm playing custom songs that I've downloaded right now. So let's go ahead and look at some of these other songs. So this song here, let's pick this one. There are more people ranked on these songs on the bottom, which are the ones that are officially included with the game. But right now I am dragging songs from my own file explorer that I've downloaded from online. And these songs, you can play any song you want, and there are hundreds of them. So that's why they don't all have plays on Bemuse. And some of these songs are also people are playing them on other BMS simulators with different ranking systems. So a lot of the players are on Lunatic Rave 2, which is part of why I want to get on Lunatic Rave 2. I had a streak and my computer stuck. It's okay. I'll get another one. Actually, sorry, I want to catch up with the chat again. Am I on a dual monitor setup? Yes, Homuffin, I am on a dual monitor setup. Sorry that I didn't answer that question earlier. Actually, I'm not on a dual monitor setup. I'm on a triple monitor setup. I got 2 of these monitors for free, and it's really convenient. The other 2 monitors are 4:3 aspect ratio though, which is a little annoying, but I just play all my games on my middle monitor, and then the other 2 are for Discord chat and Twitch chat and web browsing and other things like that. So this pattern, the scales or staircase, which is just when it's like every note in a row, from low to high or from high to low. I used to be really awful at them. Like when I started, I just could not do them at all. So at the start of every song, before I started the song, I would just go, or also in between songs, I would just do this. I would just do the scale, just to get my hands used to it. And after I had been doing that for a while, I started to actually be able to hit the scales, and it felt so good. I was like, oh my goodness, I am a musical mastermind. And it just felt good to hit a familiar pattern, even if you don't take into account the fact that I couldn't do it before and now I can. Just hitting a pattern feels nice. And I get a little bonus from the little "yay, I got better" bonus for my enjoyment. So you can see that all these songs have different difficulties. So if I wanted to, I can play this on 5, and I could also play it on 8 or 10 or 12 or whatever's available. So you can play a lot of different songs as you move up, and then you can go back to some familiar songs on higher difficulties, but you end up playing more of the same song because you're responsible for hitting more of the notes. But even right now, you can hear the piano in the background, but I'm just doing the drum part. On higher difficulties, I will be playing the piano part as well. So it's nice to kind of like, you can get an idea of what the song is going to be like on the higher difficulties by listening to it. And it's not a requirement to know the song in order to be good at the game. Like, even if you've never seen the song before, you can potentially do well if you're good enough. But if you're familiar with the song, not even the chart, but just like how fast the notes come and when really dense parts of the song are and things like that, that can help you get better scores because you're kind of a little bit ready for what's going to happen. And even on the random setting that shuffles all the columns, the scratches always stay the same. So on songs that have a lot of scratches, a lot of people will memorize the scratch pattern so that during the song they can just kind of do the scratch pattern, even though it's pretty hard. They at least know what they're doing, and then they don't have to devote as much attention to figuring out what the button. They can use kind of the reading part of their brain to focus on the notes that are coming up and not the scratches. Something that I just was working on is I'm really bad at or I was really bad at okay, that pattern is like the next thing I want to work on. It's those stairs where like it's like two sets of stairs at the same time. See, I did it wrong just there. It's like a chord of two, and then you're climbing the scale with both notes at the same time. That is something that is very challenging for me right now. But the last thing I was working on was scratching and hitting this note at the same time. That was very, very difficult for me. What I would end up doing was I would scratch and bring my hand all the way over and hit it with this hand to get them at the same time. But that was causing a lot of problems when stuff was happening on the other side of the chart at the same time. So now I've finally learned to hit those with my left hand, and then my right hand has more freedom. This game is a lot of fun, and it's really easy to just check out. You just go to your browser, you don't have to download anything, you can just go and play. It is a little bit hard to get into, just because you have to first just remember which hand is which key, or which finger goes with which key. But once you've done that, it's a really smooth difficulty curve from the easier songs up to the harder ones. So even though it gets really insane later, there are hundreds of songs available at the lower difficulties, and at every difficulty in between, so you never have a shortage of songs to play. You're never stuck playing the same song over and over. Unlike when I was playing Guitar Hero, and it's like, well, you kind of just have to keep on. When you move up to expert difficulty in Guitar Hero 3, it's like, well, you have to just keep on playing Hit Me With Your Best Shot over and over and over until you can play on expert, and now you can play the rest of the songs. This game is not like that, which I appreciate. You can always play some song that's at your difficulty level, even if one song is too difficult for you. There are 100 more that are the right difficulty. I think I'm gonna do like 3 more, and then I'm gonna call the stream. But I've been having a lot of fun, and I really appreciate everyone stopping by. People have been in and out. Oh, okay. That time I accidentally picked the 5 keys mode when I really wanted the 7 keys mode. So I'm gonna go back out and go back in. Yeah, this is the 7 keys mode. I'm not very good at timing those. Home Muffin, you've been here like almost the whole time, and I really hope that you've enjoyed the stream. I didn't actually intend to stream for this long. I kind of meant for it to just be an hour just to show the game. But I started having too much fun, and then I wanted to keep going. So that's kind of how it worked out. Have you decided what, Homuffin, what fighting games you're gonna bring with you on your trip with your laptop? Because I know that you were looking for some to play offline. Also, did your laptop come in yet? Is it working okay for you? Yeah, I'm just not very good at timing these. Because I start to think about it too much and then the timing gets off. That's why people play on random, because if they don't know what's coming, it's actually easier to time, because it's like, oh, that's the note, and then you hit it, and then you're just in time. But if you know what's coming, it's actually difficult. Oh, I got an F. Okay, I'll do one more. I'll play a song that I like a lot, even though it's a 3. Yeah, this is only a 3, but I just like the song. Good way to end the stream. And I think that if we do a Guilty Gear or Tekken Lobby later this weekend, I'm gonna stream that as well. Most likely. Now that I've got my stream all set up and everything, it'll be pretty easy to do. And I do want to play more Tekken and Guilty Gear, especially because I'm entering both of them at Frosty Faustings. I still remember when I first started playing this game, and this song was quite difficult for me. And now it's like the easiest thing in the world, and I don't know, I feel good. I still like the song. Oops. Guess it wasn't as easy as I thought. Another feature that I really like in this game that I desperately wish was in Guitar Hero is that it tells you how far into the song you are and how much is left to go. Because I don't know every licensed song, I don't necessarily know if they're going to go into another guitar solo or whatever, so I appreciate that. And also, all the songs are about 2 minutes in this game most of the time, which is like the perfect length. That part was still pretty challenging. Okay, that was fun. Thanks for stopping by, everyone. I might do this again, I'm not really sure. But for now, check out Bemuse. Hope you enjoyed watching, and I hope you enjoy playing. I'll catch you guys later.